Hello kindergartners, this is Mrs. Hilliard and we are going to do our next art project. Today we're going to do something called a tissue paper shamrock. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need the tissue paper shamrock paper from your materials bag. And in your little materials bag you had some tissue paper. There's actually two pieces folded up, so get that. You're also going to need a glue stick and some scissors. So you can push pause and go get all those materials and then come back and I will show you how to put it all together. All right, once you have all your stuff, here's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna take this little piece off of here. It's okay if it rips your paper because at the end we're gonna cut out our shamrock, not yet. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this tissue paper that I sent home and we're gonna cut some squares. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unfold it. And you can keep them together, keep the two sheets of tissue paper together. But we're gonna cut over here kind of a line, go straight up. And I'm cutting both sheets at the same time. And you can cut another line. You're just gonna cut some strips of the tissue paper. And then once you do that, cut some squares. And try to collect the tissue paper right here in front of you so it doesn't go everywhere. But here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to cut all the tissue paper at one time because it's just gonna make too much and then the tissue paper might start blowing around and making a mess. So just do a little bit at a time. So I'm just gonna do these two strips and then I'm gonna cut more in a little bit if I need to. Because you might not need all the tissue paper. So I'm gonna leave my tissue paper and my scissors right here. And now I'm going to start gluing some of this tissue. So what you do is you get your glue stick. I'm going to put my tissue kind of over here a little bit. Get it out of my way. It's sticking to my paper. I haven't even glued it yet. All right, I'm going to put my tissue paper to the side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my tissue paper and then turn it over and glue it right down on your paper. And smush it all down. Then get another piece of tissue paper and put some glue. Try to go all the way to the edges and then you're going to put it down. And it's okay if it overlaps with another piece of tissue paper and it's okay if it goes over the line because we're going to cut it out at the end. And there's different colors. So get the next color if you want to. And I'm going to glue this one down and I'm going to try to keep gluing it all over until there's no more construction paper showing. Don't just put some glue in the middle like that because then what's going to happen when you put it down is it's going to be all flappy like that. We don't want it to be all flappy. We want to put glue all over the whole tissue paper. So make sure you're doing all the way to the edges. I'm going to put that one right here. And then I'm going to put one right here. So see how I kind of went over the edge, but I can still see the black line through it. That way at the end I can still cut it out. I put one right here. Oops, I didn't get any glue right there. There we go. Do my next one. You're going to keep going until the whole entire shamrock is full of your tissue paper. So when you cut your tissue paper, you don't want to cut it too small because then you'll take forever. But you don't want it to make it really huge either because it just doesn't look as cool. All right, so I'm going to keep going with some of my tissue paper here. And if it's taking a long time and you need to take a break, you can take a break and then come back and do some more. Oops, I forgot to do the edges. There we go. So just keep going, keep filling it all in. Just like this. Done, we'll cut out the shamrock and we can hang it up on your wall for decoration. many of you like to go and look for real clovers out in the grass? Sometimes you can see them growing out there. Usually they just have 3 leaves, like the one on this one. This one has 1, 2, 3. But sometimes you can find one with 4 leaves on it. And they say that if you find one with 4 leaves, that it's good luck. So I remember when I was a kid, at recess time, sometimes my friends and I would go to the grass and we would spend the whole entire recess looking for 4-leaf clovers. We didn't always find one, but sometimes we did, and we would get so excited because then we knew we were going to have good luck. The other thing I used to like to do when I was a kid is make leprechaun traps. So I could try to catch a leprechaun. And they say that if you catch a leprechaun, then you're supposed to stare him in the eyes, and then don't look away. And if you look him in the eyes and stare at him, then he has to tell you where he hid all of his gold. And then you can have a whole pot of gold to yourself. What would you buy if you had a whole pot of gold? I don't know what I would buy. Maybe a new car. Maybe I would buy like 1,000,000 pieces of candy, because I do super love candy. And one of my students said they would buy a robot so that the robot could clean up all their toys and clean their room and clean their messes. And I thought that was a pretty cool idea, because my kids always make messes. So if I had a robot that could clean up their messes, that would be awesome. All right, so look how it's coming along. It's coming along good. And remember, your glue stick will dry clear, so even if it looks kind of weird like that and you can see the purple through it, once it starts to dry like these ones, you won't be able to see it anymore. So I'm going to keep filling it in. And it looks kind of cool when the tissue paper goes on top of each other, because it kind of makes another color. Okay. Look, so far I only did 2 strips of tissue paper, and I already have like half of my clover covered. So you're definitely not going to need all that tissue paper. And if you have extra tissue paper, you can use it to make other St. Patrick's Day crafts if you want. Or you could use it if you're going to make your own leprechaun trap. You can use some of the tissue paper to help decorate it if you want to. You don't have to make a trap, but they're pretty fun to do. If you set a leprechaun trap, set it the night before St. Patrick's Day. Maybe you'll catch one. Leprechauns like to make lots of mischief. And they also do not like to follow the directions. So if you put a leprechaun trap out and you put a sign on there that says, "Do not climb this ladder," then you know what they'll do? They'll climb the ladder, because they don't listen very well. Okay, now I need to cut more tissue paper. So I'm going to get my big tissue again. I'm going to cut another strip like that. And I'm going to cut this one. Let's see, I'm going to get all these tissue paper strips. I'm going to put them all together and cut some more squares. So you don't want to cut them too small like this, and you don't want them huge like that. So just kind of nice little squares. Okay. I think that's going to be plenty to fill the rest of my shamrock up. What I like to do when I'm putting glue on my tissue paper is I like to use my finger to hold down one of the corners so it doesn't move all around. And that way from you. Okay, let's see. Oops, I still need some more up here. Let me fill some more in up here. I think I need some more dark ones up there. I'm gonna get another dark one. We sent some lighter color green and some darker green. Oops, this one ripped a little. If it rips, that's okay. You can still use it. It's sticking to my finger because my fingers are getting all sticky. If your fingers get too sticky and you keep sticking to the tissue paper, you can go wash them and then come back and keep going. Sometimes that happens. Okay, let's see. Almost done. Remember, if you need to take a break, take a break. Push pause, take a break, come back. And hopefully you're not just watching me do this. Hopefully you're doing it at the same time. So I got some areas right here to cover, and then I got this part to cover, and then I'll be all done. Then I can cut it out. And don't forget to write your name on it when you're done, and also put the date on there. Because sometimes my kids make super cool projects, and then I find them later on, and I don't remember when they made them. So make sure you put the date on it too, so you always know when you made it. Some more dark colors. Oops, squished this one a little, spread it out a little bit more. There we go. Let's see. There we go. And now I just need to cover this area. Okay. So if you haven't got a chance to, you should visit our March page in our virtual classroom, because we put some examples of some videos on how to make some leprechaun traps. And you don't have to make those exact leprechaun traps, but it gives you some ideas. And it might help you think of your own idea. And you can just use stuff from around the house, like a shoebox or an empty cereal box or an oatmeal container. You can find some sticks and leaves from outside. You can use any of the leftover paint from any of our projects. You can use this leftover tissue paper. You can even use this shamrock on there if you want to. Whatever you want to do with it. Okay, I'm almost done. Just a little bit to go. Let's see, I'll put one right here. And use this little guy over here. Looks like I have some bits over here that didn't get covered. Okay. So one teeny little area left, just right there. And then I'm going to cut it out. So once you have all your tissue on, I'm going to put my cap on my glue stick so it doesn't dry out. And I still have some extra tissue paper that I cut, that I can use it for something else, and I have all this tissue paper left too. So now when you cut it out, you have to try to see where those black lines are. Hopefully you can still see it through the tissue paper. And you're going to try to cut right on top of those black lines. Remember to turn the paper, not your scissors. And cut so slow. Go all the way around the lines. And then we'll go up this way. And around this way. They kind of look like 3 hearts put together. And now the last leaf. And before you started cutting, if you noticed any of your tissue paper was a little flappy looking and you needed more glue, you could put more glue on it. All right, here we go. Now you can put your scissors away. This can go in the recycling. And you have a cute little tissue paper shamrock. And like I said, if you have any parts that are a little bit flappy, you can just get your glue stick, put a little bit of glue right there, and lay it down flat. And there you have it. Don't forget to write your name and the date on the back, and you have your cute little shamrock. All right, kindergarten friends, thank you so much. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you for the next art project. Bye.